Hi everyone. I just want to say thank you for watching my Vienna vlogs. There's two parts to that vlog, and I believe this is my last part of the Vienna series in terms of this vlogmas. Um, I want to talk about the spontaneous trip, and also now that I'm a few days after Vienna, how do I feel about that trip and all that jazz. Okay, so this was my first spontaneous trip. So I was just catching up with one of my friends on FaceTime, and then he was talking about doing a solo trip. Um, and I was like, oh, since I'm not working and we're in the same continent, I should just definitely visit him. So I bought my tickets, I believe, 2 days before we left. So I really only had like a day to pack. So when we arrived to Amsterdam to Vienna, um, our train got canceled. So we were supposed to take a night train. So Amsterdam to Vienna is a 14-hour train ride. So they offer a train called the Night Jet that can take you directly from Amsterdam to Vienna, so throughout the night. So by the time you wake up, you're in Vienna. Now, that unfortunately didn't happen because there was a snowstorm that hit southern Germany, specifically Munich and certain spots that the night jet would stop at. So because of that, we arrived to Amsterdam, spent the whole day there, and then I believe when we were supposed to board the train, we were told that the train was canceled for the day. So then we had to book last minute hotels in Amsterdam just so we can wake up the next morning and try again to get to Vienna. So, yes, so then the next day we had to take multiple trains from Amsterdam to Vienna. So that means we took a lot of inter-city trains in Germany, and Germany was the biggest problem. Amsterdam didn't receive a lot of snow, and Vienna had snow, but not as much as Germany. I think I'm gonna insert a clip right now, what I saw outside the train window. But there was a lot of snow, and it was crazy because in the Netherlands we would not experience that much snow. So we got all at once. And I made the joke because I moved from Boston, which is known for a lot of snow, the New England, and lo and behold, it came to us. But let's talk about my trip in Vienna and for people who are interested in Vienna. So first thing first, I want to say that Vienna is quite expensive. Now, I don't say that don't go there, but just be aware that it's expensive in terms of the attractions. The trains was not too expensive. It was 17 euros for a whole week, but an attraction is around 20 euros at least, give or take. Um, and as you can see, we went to the Belvedere, we went to the aquarium, and then we just spent the last day just souvenir shopping and just trying out Austrian food specifically. Um, so yeah, I want to talk about that because 20 euros is pretty expensive for a lot of people. It slowly adds up because there's a lot of attractions there in terms of there's a lot of UNESCO heritage sites that you want to visit, but just visit a couple and plan out what you want to see. Because I feel like if you want to go to all of the attractions just to say that you checked everything in Vienna, it would be quite expensive. And there are like passes that would make everything cheaper, but it's just not really worth it because it's still pretty pricey. So I would recommend do 1 to 2 attraction per day and walk around the city of Vienna, or take the train or the public transportation. Let's talk about the food in Vienna. So again, just like the attraction, food is expensive. I would say it's around 25 euros per person. So that would mean you guys would share an appetizer, you get individual meals, and everyone gets a drink, which would be around 50 euros for two people. And they do have a tipping culture, which I want to be show that, because where I live in the Netherlands, tipping is not really mandatory. While there, I believe they would enjoy you giving them a tip. And I would tip around 5 to 10% depending on the service. Um, yeah, so I want to say that when you're visiting in Vienna, and of course when it's snowing, take the transportation. Take the public transportation. It's cheap. Like I said earlier, it's only 17 euros a week. But the train is always crowded. So especially during rush hour, it is super crowded. Like you have to like really shove yourself in. And a lot of people say to avoid rush hour, and I did, and it was still crowded. So I can't even imagine what rush hour would be like. As you watch my video, you see that I got to eat a lot of food. I got to try a lot of Austrian food on top of um, the iconic food, so such as schnitzel and potatoes and blood sausages and their fish. And I gotta say, the food in Austria is alright, and that includes the Thai food that we have. However, their Italian food is amazing. It's better than the Netherlands. And I think it's because we were near Italy, and that's all I can say. That could be the reason, but it was delicious. And we got to try a lot of stuff that a lot of people would not even like search on. Like when you visit Vienna or like making a list, we got to try like Austrian dumplings, which no one really talked about, and it was pretty good. And yeah, so a lot of people visit Vienna for Christmas market, and I definitely want to talk about that. So first thing first, there's a lot of Christmas markets. Like no matter what, when you go to Vienna, you're gonna stumble onto one in the winter, and yeah, and I gotta say that it is actually quite expensive. Um, I remember I searched on TikTok or Instagram Shorts, and people say most of the stuff is made in China, but they increase the price very high. And I think my reaction when I first saw one, I was like, oh, this ornament is so pretty. I feel like I should get it. And then as I go to more Christmas market, they were selling the same ornaments for the same price, which made me realize that, okay, no one can really, these are definitely not made here. But I digress. I ended up just getting the cups. So here's the thing, in the Christmas market, you pay for the cup, and then if you return it, you can get 5 euros back, or you can keep the mug, and that could be a souvenir. And I believe they change every single year, so that's actually pretty cool to have like a limited edition to commemorate your experience at Vienna. So that's what I ended up getting as my souvenir in Vienna, on top of like a scarf. It is nice to check out the Christmas market, but once you check out one, I feel like you are checking out the others. I think everything tends to be quite the same, and I was told that this is quite similar to the one in Germany. So keep that in mind. I also want to talk about what I love about Vienna. So I gotta say, I really love Vienna at night. Like the Christmas market is so beautiful at night, but I was not the only one that thinks that. So at night it is super crowded, especially at every Christmas market. We went to two at night, and it was packed. Like you are walking and really close to each other, and the lights are out, so everyone's taking pictures and all that jazz. I think the line to get like the hot chocolate or the punch, the hot punch, was like so long. But I definitely recommend you experiencing the punch. Um, And yes, I do agree, Vienna is so beautiful at night. We got to see the Belvedere Palace, Opera House, and just a shopping district when they turn on the lights and it gets dark pretty early. I believe around 4:30. So you could see all the beautiful lights and stuff. So I'm gonna answer a few questions that a lot of my family and friends asked. Was Vienna worth it? I like to say that I believe Vienna is worth an experience. Now, do I think you should spend your only time visiting that area just in Vienna? No. I think just 3 days in Vienna would be perfect. You can go to Budapest, even go to Munich or southern Germany to give yourself the whole experience. But there is no need to spend over a week in Vienna. Um, so since this was my spontaneous trip, would I do it again? So a little bit yes and no. Spontaneous, it was so much fun because I had nothing planned, so I wasn't really stressed about like we have to reach these certain deadlines because I'm such a person, that type of person, a planner. Um, but I prefer a little bit of planning because the hotels and especially the train ride when I booked just a few days before and even it gets expensive. So that's all I have to say. Like for budgeting wise, it was not the smartest decision. But to see my friend and check out a place that quite frankly I would not consider visiting, um, on as like the top places I want to visit living when I'm living in Europe. But now that I did it, I've done it. So that's all I have to say about Vienna. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please let me know if you actually end up going to Vienna, especially in the winter time. I can definitely give you recommendations, but I believe my vlog also showed places I went to eat and places I saw. So I don't think y'all really need me for that. But yes, thank you guys for watching my Vienna vlog. I will see you soon. All right, bye everyone.